Why would President Biden continue to threaten American people and continue to put the United States in harm's way? Well, according to reports, it is because there's a greater plan for the future. And I want to address what that plan is, why the Biden administration is comfortable with this plan, and how some say that because of the future plan, it is okay that we are putting ourselves in a little bit of danger. So I want to break down what is going on right now. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So when it comes to putting the United States in danger, putting the American people under pressure and under threats, why would the Biden administration even consider this? Well, it's because of one thing: power. Who is going to have power in the next year, in the next 4 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years? Who is going to have power? Well, here's what I can tell you. The fight over the border down in Texas, the U.S. southern border, this is turning into a massive catastrophe for the Biden administration. Democrats have long said that allowing illegal immigrants into the United States will help with labor shortages. That was great that we were getting help with labor shortages when we were seeing the jobs number at like 11 million and the unemployed at like 3 million. But when we are now hearing that there is twice as many or 3 times as many illegal immigrants in the United States than there are amount of open positions, that doesn't make sense. But Democrats have also said, with the U.S. population hitting somewhat of a standstill, a slowdown, if you will, having illegal immigrants come into the United States makes sense because now our population continues to grow. Well, just last year, there was more immigration than new births. That is crazy that there was more immigration than new people or babies in the United States. How crazy is that? Also, they say more immigrants would make the country better and more diverse. That's what we need, right? Well, here's the issue. Why would we continue to allow, tens of thousands of people in the United States on a daily basis? Well, here's what I can tell you. Right now, having immigrants come into the United States does help with the population. It does make the country more diverse, right? It gives us different ideas, and it does provide some benefits to our labor shortage. It may do all that, but according to reports, Democrats have a greater plan. They're looking for voting power indefinitely for years to come. Now, according to a recent study, and I can't remember if this was Yale or Harvard or Stanford, I don't remember who did the study, but according to a recent study, there are not just 11 million illegal immigrants in the United States as of today. There's more than 22 million, okay, illegal immigrants in the United States today. One study says there's north of 25 million illegal immigrants in the United States today. That's a huge difference. That is massive. That's more than double. Now, here's what the Biden administration has said for years. And keep in mind, all this stuff is going to make sense as to why the Biden administration is continuing to allow this crisis at the U.S. southern border. The Biden administration has said for years they want to legalize illegal immigrants into the United States, which would give them citizenship, it would give them voting rights, obviously they could work, right? All those things. Now, based on past history, immigrants are about 80% more likely to vote Democrat their first time voting. 80%. Now, for the sake of math, instead of 22 million people or 25 million, I'm just going to use 20 because that's easier. Let's say there's 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States today. If the Biden administration is able to legalize immigrants in the United States, and there's 20 million, that means 80% of those, 16 million people, would vote Democrat their first time. Whereas 4 million or 20% would vote Republican. Well, look at this number right here. Okay, this right here is how many people voted in 2020. It says Biden wins most votes in U.S. electoral history. In 2020, Biden had 78 million votes compared to former President Donald Trump, who had 73 million. So if we add 16 million to this, we get 94 million people, compared to adding 4 million to this puts Republicans at 77 million. So right there, 77 million people for Republicans and 94 million for Democrats. That would be huge. That would be a massive win for Democrats if they could legalize all immigrants in the United States. Now, here's what I can tell you. This is going to turn into a bigger disaster before it ever gets better. And the reason for that is because lawmakers cannot agree as to which way to move forward. Some say we need to pass a immigration reform bill. We need to secure the border. And even though some are trying to do that, then you've got others that say it's not going to work. For instance, President Biden, just to give you an idea, he promises to shut down the border if Congress approves a bill that the GOP claims would incentivize illegal aliens. Now, I want to address this. So what President Biden is talking about is there's a new bill on the table that is potentially going to be proposed this coming week. In this bill, what Democrats are proposing is to put a cap that if there's 4,000 illegal immigrants that enter the United States on average per day over the course of a week, then the Department of Homeland Security could shut down the border. If there's 5,000 people that are entering in the United States per day on average in a single week, then the Department of Homeland Security would be required to shut down the border. And if there's over 8,500 people that enter the United States per day over the course of 1 week, then the Department of Homeland Security would be required to close the border. But in this time when the border is closed, if illegal immigrants still try to enter the United States, then, and they do this twice during a closed period, they would be banned from the United States for 1 year. That's what Democrats are wanting. Well, Republicans say, if we set the cap at 5,000, guess what? We're going to hit that cap every single time, every day. Monday, 5,000. Tuesday, 5,000. Wednesday, 5,000. We're just going to keep that tally. Oh, we're at 4,995. Hey, 5 more people can come in. Who wants to come in today? And then 5 more people come in. Guess what? It's probably not going to work. And this is what Republicans are saying. We're going to hit that cap every single day. That's the problem. Is they say we are just going to incentivize illegal aliens to come into the United States because guess what? We haven't hit our 5,000 total yet. We're only at 2,000. We need 3,000 more people. Let's hit that ceiling. That's what they're discussing. And so some say this is only going to give President Biden more power to allow illegal immigrants into the United States. But the concern right now is who's coming into the United States? What is their plan? Are they ever going to leave the United States? Are they coming here to work? And if they are, do they have a work permit? Or are they going to be working illegally? Because one thing that I can tell you is people that work illegally, they actually bring the cost down. Okay, they even though they're working, the problem is now the employer that's paying them, most likely under the table, isn't paying taxes, right? They're not paying for Medicare and Social Security. They're not paying those things. They're giving them cash under the table. That's likely what's happening. And because of that, that is going to hurt the system. That is going to cause the IRS to lose out on millions, if not billions of dollars in uncollected taxes. But again, that's kind of the situation that we're in. So, just wanted to fill you in on why the Biden administration is okay with the fact that the United States is being threatened. We are being invaded. They're okay with that because, again, according to reports, there's a greater plan in place, and we have not achieved that yet. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is it will be interesting over the next few weeks. So, make sure you stick around, and I will try to update you as much as I possibly can. As new updates come out, again, I will be here every step of the way, and I will fill you in on what is going on at that time. So, that's what we know as today. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.